Today is the 14th of May. Not 100% sure of that. It is a Wednesday. I finished another long day in class today. We were talking about jobs. And we were supposed to get in groups of two, which always fucking torments me because I'm sitting beside Komal, who spends 90% of the time with her headphones plugged in, looking at her phone. And we were supposed to do a scene where one of us was looking for a job, but she has no interest in work. As I'm talking, it's starting to rain a bit, and there's a huge black cloud over Orizon, and I was kind of hoping it'd keep blowing that way, but I hope it's not coming back. Either way, Tuco's, well, he's gone on ahead of me. Don't know whether he wants to go to the loo or not. He seems quite keen. So maybe I should trust Tuco's instinct here. So anyway, the day went on and we were looking at French Travail. We were on the site looking at jobs. Each job more desperate than the previous one. And tomorrow, and I'm glad, because I didn't know this. I don't even know how it came up, but I asked and was told, yeah, you don't have any class tomorrow, because tomorrow is the day you go and make some inquiries about where you're going to do your stage, your immersion. So tomorrow is the day when you go to all the businesses and ask to speak to the personnel manager, tell them about the thing that you're going to be doing on this week, 7th of July till the 11th. I had no idea that. I completely missed it, but maybe it would have been said again at the end of the day. I don't know. Everybody seemed to know about it except me. So tomorrow we have no class, but I'm going to have to do some stuff because I don't know whether this is good or bad. I guess it's something that could be good for me, so I shouldn't see myself as being doing something that I don't have to or whatever, you know. I could lie about the whole business, but I'm gonna tomorrow, hopefully. Not today, because I've fucking had enough. I don't want to think about jobs and French. But tomorrow is going to be a full day, so I'd like to print out about 10 CVs. I'd like to print out a nice clear letter as to what this immersion business is. And sorry, I just thought I thought it was a rabbit on the ground. It's not. It's just a kind of a chunk of grass. And I'd like to go around because this really, it's been bothering me for fucking weeks anyway. But I'd like to go around to Pearl Almond, Doucet, Intermarché, Carrefour Market, Ocean, and some places, more places, even Action in Manosque, and just go in, ask to speak to someone, ask for the numbers of the person who I need to speak to, drop off my CV and the letter explaining the immersion. And so on Friday when I go in, I'll have a list made up, and I'll have hopefully around maybe 8 different places that I have sent off my job searching thing. And then it'll be fucking done then, you know. I think it'll be done for me then. I wait, and if nobody gets back to me, I can recontact some people. But either way, I don't really care whether I get picked for the job or not. and it might bother Flo, but the fact that I spend a week in the last week not get paid, I really don't care. So I want to do this to get it out of the way, basically. So I'd like to really spend the whole day tomorrow going as hard as I can at this and really push myself to just go through the motions, make up a list of all the places I've gone to, and on Friday I'll be able to go in and tell everybody what a great boy I've been and how I've gone on my way to do as much as I could to get some kind of what they call a stage. Yeah. And then after that, who knows? But maybe I won't have to think about it then for a while, you know. Maybe then it'll just be, we get back to doing the French, doing exercises and stuff. Oh, fuck. Who's this? Tuco! 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 Allez! Allez, quick! It's starting to rain. Allez! 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 Good boy. It's two dogs, but besides that, it is kind of raining. I don't know where this fucking big black cloud is going. Allez, Tuco, let's go home quick before we get drowned. Yeah. By the end of today, in spite of eating 2 bananas, I was actually feeling almost physically ill by the time it got to 3:30. I just thought, God, I can't. Sometimes the teacher, she starts talking about something. They were talking about makeup and whether French people wear high heels more than Colombians or something. It was like, oh God, I need to get out of here. So I've got those things to do tomorrow. I hope Flo is in good form, because I could do with a bit of cooperation from her. Just to check the letter I'm going to do. I can do it on my own anyway, and I thought it'd be nice if she'd come with me to Manosque and I could do these things, and then we could go have something to eat or something. But who knows? Flo is quite likely to say that that's nothing to do with her, and you know, she's got her own things to do. But I want to do it anyway. I just wish there was some proof that I could. I mean, it's not that Gratz, the teacher, not that she really gives a shit one way or the other. But I wish I could prove that I'm going to, you know, because it would be easy to say, yeah, I did all this, no one got back to me, and not do anything. But when you actually make the effort to do something, it'd be nice to have letters from people saying, like an attestation, to say Eddie was in here today and he did speak to people and he did leave his CV. But that's impossible. What else? It is, like I said, I'm around the 14th of May. God, it's hard to imagine. It's halfway through May already, and then it's June, and that's kind of near, because this stage starts the 7th of July, so really it's just June and then a few days in July. My hairdo is still crap. Even at the back, the bit that's left kind of coming, it's done in a triangular shape, short at the sides and kind of long and stringy in the middle. It looks kind of stupid. I've never been so bothered by a haircut, not for many years, not since I had my long hair cut, and that was like back in 2010 or something. So 2010, oh my god, 15 years ago. So I think I can safely say I haven't been so upset with a haircut in 15 years. Because I thought my hair was looking really good anyway, and it was an impulse. I've said all this so many times. It was kind of an impulse, and I could have kept it. It would have kept growing. I could have kept tying it up. And honestly, whatever way it looked fucking better, I think, than it did now. And all I needed was just a trim. Because the way it looked, let's say a year ago, when it was short enough, I really liked it. The way it looked, for instance, when I went to Marbella, that terrible last trip where I lost my wallet. That haircut was nice. If I could have shown her pictures of that and said, just try and do it like that. I'm annoyed at myself for not being absolutely clear with her. With Katia, and letting her just kind of go ballistic. I should have been more careful, and I wasn't. But anyway, I'll get over at some fucking point, as you do. I'm lucky I have hair, as a lot of people would, what my mother would say. You're lucky, you're a couple of months away from being 60. A lot of people don't have hair. But yeah, you can hear that in the distance, can't you? It's just over the hill here in front of me. Stop, Tuco. Stop. Let me just put your thing on here. Way, there you go. Let's get you back quick. Because this big black cloud, could change direction and come back this way. So I have no bread for tomorrow. I've just realised I'm not going to the class tomorrow, so I don't need bread. That's good. Otherwise, on a brighter note, I must learn to relax a lot more in the class and not take it all too serious, which has been working quite well. Which actually it's a good timing that I've found some kind of peace at this point, because this is kind of the stressful part of the whole business. Hello, Tuco. And if I was in a bad mental place and really, really stressing and not wanting to go anywhere, to drop off CVs and stuff, I'd be probably feeling a lot worse than I do now. So it was very kind of serendipity that I came across some spiritual stuff. It was a guy talking about how our reality controls us and stuff. It just made sense to me at the time, and it's like don't believe your mind, kind of. Hello, Tuco, let's go this way. I want to check the mail. And it came at a good time, and it's kind of kept me relaxed, and I'm kind of enjoying the course, except for the fact that it is at times an endurance test. Anyway, I shall say goodbye because I have to check the mail and bring Tuco home. Today is the 17th of May. Pretty sure it's the 17th. It is Sunday. And it's about 2 o'clock. Nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Just noticed the screen on my Philips thing here is really good. The sun is shining on it, and I can see everything on the screen very clearly. There's not a lot of information. I've got the number 8 and the clock to tell me how long I'm talking. Flo was on her way back from Maraval with Tuco, and I am kind of really taken in by the colors and the textures of all the long grasses in front of me. I'm at the tree. You know what I mean. The tree. One side goes to where the horses were. And the grass in front of me, as you look toward Lure, is just so green and rich. And there's poppies on one side, and on the other there's that, I don't know what you call it, they're like kind of pinky purpley flowers. And the mountain of Lure itself, it's a bit windy, probably heard that. Lure itself is, you can see the undulations, and you can see lots of light green color, where I guess all the specific type of trees are all got their leaves now. And behind me toward the river, it's like a whole sea of poppies and other flowers and little bits of, it's like cotton blown in the wind. It really is. May really is the most vibrant, colorful time of the year. Just looking at everything. It's quite something. I'm just covering my right eye, and I think I'm kind of glad to say that there doesn't seem to be any more deterioration. I mean, I can't see any details, but I can see plenty of light, and I can see hills, and I can make out things, you know. I have been home for the weekend. Thursday I went to try and find a place to do my internship. I'm sure I've said all this already, I won't go into it again. And I had a couple of days of release from stress and worry, because I'd done something that had been bothering me for a while. But I always knew that the vacuum of peace will be filled pretty quickly by something else. And I'm already thinking now that nobody's going to respond to me one way or the other, which seems kind of tragic, considering all those nice people I spoke to. But I have this, I could be wrong, of course, it's very early yet, but I have this suspicion that I won't hear anything. And so my mind is already trying to figure out what is the dialogue in French when you go back to these places and say, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah. I was here last week. I left you my CV. I left you a letter, but I haven't heard anything back from you. I just want to know, is there somebody I can contact? Because the thing is, I don't mind if you don't pick me, but I just need to know one way or the other, so I'm not kind of waiting." How do I say all that in French and to be understood? So that's already creeping into the mind. Wow, it really is beautiful out today. So there's all these little cotton things flown around. But when you look up at the trees, like this one in front of me, my God, the green is just so, it's so green. That's not very colorful language, but everything is so rich. Yeah, I had the weekend on my own here. And like I was just saying, kind of, when I arrived home at 4 o'clock, because we got off early Friday, and Friday was also the day that we were able to tell the class and the teacher what we did Thursday. So when I arrived home Friday, it really was a nice feeling. Flow was gone. I had to sort out the washing that was still in the washing machine. But then there's that wonderful feeling. It doesn't last very long. It really is just the first hour or two when you get back into the house. I've got to bring my camera here. Everywhere I look is just crying out to be recorded. I want to use my Insta camera, but I don't want to use the 360 thing. I want to use just its 4K ability, because the two things I discovered on that camera, the sound is fantastic and also the stabilization is fantastic. So when you record scenes like I'm looking at, it's like your camera is on tracks. Everything is so, there's just no movement. I mean, there is movement, but it's completely straight. There's no jerkiness. I could have done that today. I haven't gone to Orizon. It was on my mind to go today. I just have not been able to overcome the resistance to going. I could have gone yesterday. I had a whole day at home yesterday, but it was just too windy, and I just didn't feel like it somehow. And my stomach is kind of, I don't know whether I'm getting fatter or I think it's more air. It's kind of like a balloon. But I'm kind of wondering if my body is not missing that two or three times a week, at least, that walk to and from Orizon, because it really was a decent piece of exercise for me. It would always change my state of mind. It would always give me an appetite or a thirst. So it was really, I think, a good thing for many reasons, but I'm struggling to keep that habit up. I may try walk to the very end of this path for the first time in a year, because I don't know if they're still there. There were cows and things there, and I'm just been a bit nervous to go with Tuco. But I'm on my own, so I might try it out. I haven't been that far down in a long time. And then I've got 8 files on here that really I could try and upload at some point if I've got nothing to do. I'm recording an awful lot of stuff lately, audio wise. This machine is getting used a lot. Each time Flo goes away, I tend to sit on the couch when I come home and I record on my Panasonic. I record, like yesterday, Friday, I recorded a full 2 hours of dialogue, 2 60-minute tapes. Just me talking about the present. Yeah. There's a tree in front of me. It's completely dead now, but it still has a certain beauty to it. Actually, there is some green growing out of one part of it, so maybe it's not all gone. It's just the height of the grass have just turned. I turned to my left side here, and the barley or the wheat, whatever, the stuff that has the head of God, I wish I had my camera. It's up to my, it's nearly up to my above my waist now, the grass. You wouldn't walk through it anymore. Oh, it happened so quick. Anything else to report? I do normally give an update on Bitcoin. I think it's around 91,000 at the moment. Ethereum 2,200. Ada 68. I'm hearing voices. That's probably a family or something on the river, because I'm getting to the part where it's like a little pathway. They probably got their car down there. Anyway, I'm kind of determined to go to the end of this path. I want to see if those cows are still there. Anything else to report? Yeah, maybe it's interesting to say that on Friday as well, I was enjoying myself with some drinks, and Flo bought me a 6-pack of Kronenberg. I didn't think Flo would be buying me alcohol-free beer, but still. But I was, like I said, I was doing my 2-hour recordings, and by the end the subject turned to the drama centre, as it does very often. And I was getting very tired, and I thought, shit, I'm gonna get sleepy, and then I'm gonna fall asleep at 9 o'clock and wake up at 12, you know. But then I thought, no, you know, I'm gonna eat something, and I'm gonna drink stuff, have some tea, and that kind of gave me a new piece of energy. And there was a kind of hour-long podcast where some woman who'd been a teacher in drama centre, I didn't know her, Annie something. I was wondering if it was Jigs, but it wasn't her. And she was talking for an hour about the whole history of the drama centre. And the way Christopher is trying to teach something kind of sublime to the whole history of theatre from the Greeks onward, and how important it is, and how important actors are. But I've never really understood a lot of the stuff. There are great actors that come out of every school. If I look at Pierce Brosnan or Paul Bettany or that other great actor, I never remember his name. They're great actors, but I mean, so is Tom Cruise. Now I can hear dog. Doesn't seem quite. So I'm getting down to where you go straight across to the river, and there's nothing here. There is no more cows. There's nothing. That's good to know. Everything's gone. I could go across and I could go back that way, but I'm not going to bother. It's not so much because there's people there, it's because I've kind of found out what I wanted to find out, and I don't really fancy walking on the riverbed and all those stones. And this way as well, the grass and all the crops is just so nice to look at. Everything seems to grow a little bit, and then you have a weekend like this where you stay inside your house for 2 days or something, and then you come out and everything's grown 10 foot in one day, it seems. Where are we? 15 minutes. Any more news? God, that dog sounds to be coming from a different angle now. Any more news? Well, I think it's Soleil's birthday Monday, and I think we're in our course. We're all going to eat out during the break. That'll be interesting. It's been quite a nice thing, the course. This wind is quite strong on the way back. I may have to switch off are just going to be getting a constant noise in the microphone. Today is the 17th, I think I said. We'll soon be into the 20s in May. It won't be long then till June, which is the last full month of this course. I haven't given much thought to what happens next. I also, it's starting to become something in my mind now, is the fact that I have to have my checkups and everything done soon, well, July. And then I can honestly say, if all that is done and it's fine, I haven't any problem with the winter coming. I thoroughly enjoyed this winter, with the days get darker earlier. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever have I didn't think I'd ever get to a point where I may prefer the winter to the summer. I mean, at this moment, obviously, everything is so beautiful. In every direction you look. But there's something so nice about the dark evenings as well. I guess it provided me, can maybe find some television show to follow. That Voyager, which will always stay in my mind. That one day I just decided I'm going to watch Voyager. And then I don't know how long it took to get through the whole 5 seasons, I don't know, 130 episodes or so. But it was certainly the entire winter. I really enjoyed that, just settling down to watch an episode nearly every night. The ending was a bit naff, I think. That it was, I wish they hadn't bothered linking it in with the Borg. I wish there's kind of, there were so many more ways they could have done that. They could have just happened to find some being that was working on the same thing, some other anomaly. Some kind of slingshot thing. In fact, I think they could have surely broken it down into maybe 3 or 4, maybe even a bit more episodes, and just have it an independent thing based on some fantastic creative idea, rather than fucking bringing the Borg involved and having Janeway to go from the past back to Voyager and then sacrifice herself and all that. But anyway, there was plenty of really nice episodes on that. Tried getting into Enterprise with Scott Bakula. Actually watched maybe 7 or 8 episodes, but just kind of stopped. Ran out of ideas. Just like me at this point, I'm running out of things to say. I was looking at some spiritual guy who was talking about how our minds control everything, and how he said he used this analogy of putting a headphone, I mean a headset on over your head, like a helmet, which is all linked up to virtual reality, and your mind creates everything. And I found it inspiring because of the fact that if with that theory, which is especially with the headset, pretty easy to get a grip on that. And if the information you're being sent is flawed, if there's some malfunction, then you're not receiving the correct information. And I always say to myself, I'm not receiving the correct information a lot of the time, maybe all the time. My mind is not functioning in a way that is always advantageous to me. It could be functioning in a far more advantageous way to me. By that I mean my kind of getting stressed about certain things where they wouldn't even register in other people's minds, Cars coming both ways. So yeah, I found it kind of helpful. Bonjour. A little inspiring at the time. Kind of makes you think, a bit. And I got to the point of saying, well, I shouldn't trust my own feelings and stuff and accept that they're faulty. Especially when it comes to the sense of doom and gloom when I think of the future and needing a job and all the possible future conflict with flow and all the horrible tensions of us sitting together in the house because I'm not working and money is not great. So that kind of thinking into the future, I think, is nonsense. And that's when you can say, yeah, your signals that you're getting they're not doing you any good. It's hard to kind of express this stuff because it's more something crosses your mind and it actually has an effect on your very feelings. It's almost like taking a drug. Just the thought itself releases something, and for a while you feel a sense of you have that sense of freedom. The mind. So if I start worrying about the future, about jobs, I should think, no, I have to change the subject here because this is faulty. First of all, I'm worrying about something that doesn't exist. And in spite of what some people might think, they may even think, well, you need to worry about these things, otherwise you won't do anything about them. No, you don't need to worry about them at all. You can by all means work on the problem, but you mustn't find yourself stressing over the future. You'd be better off to do nothing than to stress about it, and you'll find the less stress you have, the more you're likely to do. That's kind of the paradox. But in my mind, there's a sense of, if I don't worry about it, I won't do anything about it. Just the future. I'm wearing a kind of a tight jumper, and as I look down I can see my belly sticking out and my chest. It's like I've got two small breasts. I'd love my body to be straight with no protrusions, like a flat stomach. and a flat chest where it's just flat. You don't. I suppose as you get older, it's kind of harder to keep everything together like that. And I'm never going to go to the gym to do exercises. Good things could be worse. I'm heading home now. I'm on the path going home. I'm just seeing if Flo has arrived. I think she might have. I think I see our car. So I had a decent walk, and it hasn't really in any way made me want to carry on to Orizon. I was wondering if I'd get inspired somewhere along the way to want to, hey, I'm energized now, let's keep going. But I'm not. My stomach feels bloated. I kind of feel heavy. Of course, I'll definitely get back on the walking again. Physically, it's good for you. Breathing, breath-wise, it's good for you. Mentally, it's good for you. I know all those things. So, shall I say goodbye here? I've been talking for 27 minutes and 47 seconds. That is the way things are on this Sunday, 17th of May, 2025. That is the way life is, pretty slow and calm, and I guess one day I could look back on this and say, God, wasn't that great? Isn't that exactly the way you want life to be? Pretty slow and calm, and I spent the whole weekend indoors and just lying around playing chess and eating, and again, maybe my future self will say, wasn't that fucking great? Isn't that great? You can lay around and enjoy yourself. Just I lie in bed this morning in the company of the ginger cat. I woke up at 7:45, but then I just went back, and I woke up at 9:15, and I just drifted back again, and I didn't get up till I think 11 or something. But isn't that cool? You kind of use your weekend to really relax as much as possible. That's pretty good. Coming to the road, so I'll say adios for now. So today is the 21st of April, I believe. It's Tuesday. And what time is it? I just checked. It's about 5:05. And I just got back from my first day after the weekend doing my course. And boy, oh boy, was it difficult today. I had the weekend. I got out of sync with going to bed early. I slept bad last night. And the drive in was really fucking hard as well because it was just bumper to bumper traffic. And the same coming back, but during the class I was tired and I couldn't get into anything we were doing. We were listening to people talking about working on May the 1st, boulangerie and a fleurist. And I can't even remember what we did for the other part of the day, honestly. But I felt fragile. I even felt at one point, I felt dizzy. It was almost like the hangover feeling. And then the teacher, Gracia, she asked me if I had a attestation for the day off. Friday, you know. Which everybody kind of knew I just took off because it was a half day and I didn't want to have anything to do with the party. But that kind of fucking annoyed me. Which is kind of stupid. It shouldn't annoy me. Because she's only looking out for me. She wants to make sure I get paid. That's all. Oh, Tuco is having a poo. Two people passed him on a bike. Oh, did you have your poo, Tuco? Did you poo? Did they put you off? Did they put you off? I can't see anything. Allez. Allez, petit peu. Tuco. Allez, c'est bon. Yeah, it's really just me. Because in the end, Komar she was off Thursday, Friday as well. So in the end, she said, oh, you know, if you're off Friday, they also mark you off Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday. And I found that just really fucking weird, because I didn't even think we were getting paid for the weekend. But I guess we are. But the fact if you miss the Friday, you're also put down for missing the week. I just don't. No one's in the weekend. I couldn't get my head around that. But in the end, God bless her. She wrote me and Komal. She signed us both in for the whole thing, you know. So it's like I did a full week. But I really wasn't. Let's just go to the tree, Tuco, and then we come back, yeah? Huh? Do you want to go back? What's wrong? You want to go back? Yeah, I just, I wasn't on the best of form. And right now, even, I had a dream last night that Tuco was being chased by two lions, like in the African jungle. And I couldn't get to him, and I knew he couldn't outrun the lions, and so I'm going to put the lead. We're going back already. Let me just put the lead. We were coming back here yesterday, me and Flo, and Brad was just waiting for us at the top of the path. Luckily, Patrice came along with Rosanna at the same time, and he just seemed to say something to Brad, and Brad seemed to go off toward the olive patch, I think. But that's probably why I had that dream. And now I'm walking with the stick again after a long time of not bothering with the stick. Now I'm, like I say, I'm not feeling the best. So this afternoon as well, I was just, maybe I drank too much coffee, and I didn't eat anything because I went to Lidl to pick up a sandwich and a packet of little mini Mars bars, and then I went to the checkout. There was one person at one checkout, all the rest closed, and there was about 4 people with full trolleys, as well as about another 6 people with smaller amounts of stuff. So I would have been waiting an hour. I had to just put the stuff back. I had to put the stuff back and go back to the class without anything. So I had a banana and some chocolate today, and 3 cups of coffee, so that's probably why that wouldn't help me feel great either, I think. Flo's not feeling good either. She didn't sleep well. Her bones are aching, and she was exhausted as well, I think, after her weekend. Well, and then the drive back, there was 2 cars behind me all the way back. I'm starting to worry about if something happens to my car. And it's sometimes it's Mondays. It's not a Monday, but it's kind of like a Monday. Can be difficult, and then you find that you can have a very good Tuesday because you're kind of exhausted Monday night, you sleep well. You sleep well, and then Tuesday, although it's not going to, it's Wednesday, you're kind of, you're in a good place, and you're able to concentrate better, and you enjoy things more, and the day goes fast, and you're a little more alert in the car. And I am constantly aware of the fact that this is a very temporary thing. This whole course will finish in July. And I don't know how I'll be feeling then. Because at least now I should say to myself, at least you're doing stuff. And at least now you can lie around and relax for the rest of the day and no one's going to be looking at you. Or you're not going to be looking at yourself. Stop. Stop. And feeling guilty about anything, you know. Anyway, that was a very short walk. I am going to switch off. It's a pretty short little thing. I'll probably stick this 21st with the next day, or the next day, whenever I do another recording. Adios. Wow, I'm on number 9 here already. I'm going to have to make an effort to upload all these guys. Today is Friday and it's the 23rd or 4th, maybe, I'm not sure, of May 2025. Isn't it going fast? No need to say that, really. It's, May. We're getting into the last week of May and then we'll be into fully fledged into the summer, into June. Today is Friday and it's kind of the first weekend for quite some time, it feels like. That Flo is not away, she's here. She's just going to get some petrol for the lawnmower. She wants to cut the grass. I'm walking Tuco. And because the last weekend it was just me, and the weekend before was just me, and maybe even the weekend before that I had my own little celebrations. But this week end is a little bit different. We're going off tomorrow, which was a surprise to me. I know she said it. I wasn't sure what weekend it was, but somewhere near Marseille we're going to spend the night, because we're going tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday she's checking a venue to see if it'll be any good for her. Yoga 90 people meeting. Me, I finished a full week a few hours ago. Had a very nice drive back for once. There was no one behind me on the road back. I was able to drive at a leisurely pace all the way. And the class went okay. It was one of those days where Grazia was, which I didn't expect. We were writing stuff out, basically what we're going to do next year, because we're doing the future sample. And then she started going around correcting each of us individually, which kind of took practically half the day, really. It's such a slow process. And it means when she's correcting one person, the rest of us are just sitting around. I mean, obviously we can go on Frelo or we can go on the Chloe app. But it was a long day. Just one of those kind of, when it got to the point where we were at the end, we were doing exercises. We were reading little texts about two guys hiring a bike to go in the mountains, and some guy opening a bank account, and there's questions, of course, after these extracts, and I just couldn't be fucking asked to write anything, to just kind of connect my brain to try and answer any questions, because one of the questions was got to do with pronouns, and that stuff, it is just I can hear lots of dogs. Where the hell are they? My God, are those dogs all living in that hammock over there? St. Pancras, that'd be awful. Really sounds like a kennel full of dogs. Sounds like 10 dogs. Ah, and there's a dog coming this way. I don't know what kind of dog this is. Hang on a minute. Let me pause. Wait, Tuco. I'm going back because I think those two dogs that are coming, the guy on a bike, and I think the two dogs are those, they call them the Malinois or something. And they're not nice dogs at all. They tend to attack everything. Go on, Tuco. So Tuco's not had a very long walk, have you? Allez, allez. He's had a short walk. But maybe Flo can walk him after. So yeah, it was a long day, but I got through it. I got through a full week. And tomorrow we're off Tuesday as well as Thursday and Friday. Allez, Tuco, come on, keep going. And so next week will be a short week, and then we'll be into June before we know it. Allez. Good boy. And then, well, June is the last full month, so we should be finished before we know it. What happens then, I don't know. But we'll see. Oh, big. Fuck. I think it's Hosanna, but I hope it's not. Well, there's a person with them, so I guess it should be okay. I'm always terrified of meeting Brad around here. Anyway, I have nothing else to say. I shall sign off.